You will never stop missing your forehand in the net if you don't get rid of these two things from your game. Number one, you are wristing the ball. Let me explain why this is actually causing you to miss in the net. So, one thing you won't see on this channel is me drawing a bunch of lines and analyzing a video of someone else hitting a shot. And a lot of online tennis coaches and real life ones talk about the wrist way too much. But what this causes people to do is, instead of getting natural lag and, racket head speed, they're using their wrist instead. And it's actually causing them to produce a much weaker ball and actually scrape the ball instead of hitting cleanly through it with a loose arm. So let me explain how you can stop using your wrist very quickly. First, you're going to set up in what I call pat the dog at the height of the ball. And if you'll notice, my unit turn is not a separation of the arm from the body. The butt of the racket is essentially in line with my belly button, and from a good ready position, in which a space that I could shoot a basketball in, I just make a grip change. This is quick and efficient, and we're not using our wrist and worrying about where to put it and position it. So from pat the dog, getting lag is very simple. We go with the body first and get ourselves through the shot, okay? Now, from here, a lot of people, they break the wrist or they try and turn the wrist over to get spin, but what you actually want to get used to is swinging with the shoulder instead and rotating over it with the windshield wiper finish, okay? Now, another thing that's causing you to essentially miss in the net way more than you should be is actually the way you follow through the ball. Let me explain. Pretend when you're hitting the ball, there's imaginary glass pane. And if you don't really shatter through it and hit through it cleanly, you're not going to be able to generate racket head speed and power. You're most likely scraping the ball. You're kind of in this hitting zone for a second, but you need to stay in it much longer. And a lot of people's issue is actually the way that they follow through. They either go too high, or that arm is bent, and they're kind of just, I would call it fanning the ball, scraping the ball, and their strings at contact are often very closed. And some people close it intentionally, some people don't, to try and get more spin. But your string should actually be flat every single time, no matter what kind of really shot you're trying to hit. Maybe ever so slightly they would be closed if you have a really extreme grip, but really not. The spin comes from the shoulder, rolling over the shoulder. Your arm is fully extended, so we're not using it. All this is loose. It's actually dead weight when it's swinging. Okay, it's like throwing the arm. And you kind of got to get your body through like a freight train, and the arm is just kind of lagging behind you. This is what lag really is, okay? And in order to shatter through the glass, you need to get lag with your body. Throw your shoulder. We've got full arm extension, away out to the right. You can see from the front, and we go over the ball with the shoulder and through. And I recommend that you always swing right across your body to try and hit through that pane, right? It's like a jab, right? You wouldn't really throw a punch like that or throw a punch like that. You want to, boom, punch through that brick wall. So you hit the ball, but you keep going through it. And when you're first trying to get this emphasis and this sensation, you're going to want to over-exaggerate it. That's the only way to really make it a habit and start doing it on a consistent, regular basis. And I think that you'll stop missing the ball in the net quite a lot. Now, a bonus tip, you got to drive your legs behind the shot. A lot of people do this. They either stand tall, they're not athletic, so you're going to be late. You're going to hit in the net. But there's also a large demographic of people who do a great job of getting low, but they don't release up with the legs before the swing. So they've built up all this kinetic energy for no reason, and they don't end up using it. what you need to do is make sure that before contact point, you get up. You throw everything into it. You should be up on your toes from beginning to end of the shot, even in the ready position when you're moving. And then by the end, you need to make sure that you're tall, almost like a ballerina, or I say to my younger students, tall like the Statue of Liberty. But you need to essentially explode into the shot, okay? So I hope that you're able to, stop missing your forehand in the net. If you take the advice that I gave you in this video, if you use it and learn it, I think that you'll be able to hit way higher over the net consistently, get more racket head speed. It should help solve this issue. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, like and subscribe for more educational tennis videos. If you like what you learned here, I recommend you take the next step and go into my online course, because it takes what I teach in my videos and it builds on it, and it will show you how to gain power and consistency on the court and enjoy tennis for the rest of your life. The link is down below.